But welcome to our replay viewers. Welcome to everybody joining. We are here for day 8, your payoff plan. Thanks so much for jumping on. That's me, Belinda Rosenblum, founder of the Ditch Your Debt Challenge. Hello, Carolina. That's it. Ditch your debt. We are on day 8. I can't believe it. Hello. Hello, Cornelia. Hello, Yasmin. Hello, Danny. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to start with a funny story today. It's just one of those, like, don't you just figure. Morning from Portland. Hello, Yasmin. Hello, Cornelia. Yay, you guys are all jumping on. Okay. I'm going to roll off of this and put you on me right now. Okay, good. Hi. Okay, now we're going to put you in the tripod here. I missed your live interaction. Oh, did you listen to the replay yesterday? I know. It is nice when we can be on live together. I totally agree. Okay, so now I've queued up. You know what? I'm going to shut off the air conditioning. Yesterday, no. Oh. Well, I'm so glad that you're on today. Hello, so thought it was fun. Oh, okay, I'm just going to post this up now in our group. I already wrote the post up, so I'd be super fast today. Okay, there we go. Okay, cool. Okay, so we are posted. Did it post? Okay, I'm going to lower this a little bit, and I'm just going to kick in gear and get started today. Lots and lots of money, because that's what many of us want, except the thing is that I need you to know why you want it. So, let me look at tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. When can I do this for you tomorrow? Maybe at like 4 o'clock or something. I don't know. I'm going to take a look at tomorrow. I may change up the Periscope time because I feel like doing it at 10 a.m. just isn't getting as many folks able to join in live. So, okay, here's your quick funny story while the song's playing in the background. And I'll introduce myself too, again. So my name is Belinda Rosenblum. I lead a company called Own Your Money and lead this Ditch Your Debt Challenge, which many of you are in. So congratulations, we are on day 8. If you're not, you can still jump in at ditchyourdebtchallenge.com, and then you'll get access to all of the days. We're on day 8. Hello, Colton Clan. Welcome. So, and we actually have a lot of folks that end up joining from their computers, probably at work or something too. So, at Own Your Money, it's really about teaching you how to not let money own you anymore, and for you to step into the power and the freedom that can come when you own your money instead. And so what that means essentially is that you let go of the judgment, the guilt, and the shame that we hold on to around money, and it literally grips us. And our debt is often a key part of that. And so what we need to do is really break up with it, let it go, and create a new financial future for ourselves. And that's where I come in, and that's where Own Your Money comes in. And it's really important that we figure out what that rich life is for you and support you in moving forward to go make that happen. So that's the scoop. Hi, M is from Malika. Oh, beautiful name. Well, thanks so much. Nice to see you, Malika. And Chris, Dem, welcome. So, so the song playing in the background is I Want to Be Rich. So it just seemed particularly opportune. Now today we're going to talk about your payoff plan, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Yesterday was on giving thanks and really expressing yourself to somebody, whether it was a Facebook post, a phone call, or even a thank you note, a handwritten thank you note. So I had shown you some of the thank you notes that I use as well. Now we're going to jump into your payoff plan, and you may need to watch this video or read the lesson a couple of times because I walk you through the snowball method, and Dave Ramsey talks about it. A lot of us as experts talk about it, and it's interesting because I feel like a lot of people have heard of it, but a lot of people don't really know how to implement it. So I'm going to walk you through. Okay, our song is over, so I'm going to stop that. Hello, MS Mathis. Welcome. Okay, so thank you for our musical interlude there today. So I feel like a lot of people talk about it, and have heard the concept before, but haven't really tried to implement it. So what I'm going to do is I would suggest that you take out your prioritize your debt table from day 3, And hopefully you've even tried to lower the interest rates. Maybe you've taken advantage of some of the best options that I walked you through on Monday and day 6 of a payoff loan to consider or 0% cards. And what we've done actually is we posted the Periscope replays into the pages for the respective day. So that's new. It's at the bottom and it'll say like click here to watch the Periscope for today. And so what we've done is, to the best of our ability, we loaded them into YouTube and we set that up for you to be able to watch. But as Cornelia said earlier, being able to do this live with me is just so much more fun. You can add hearts, you can ask me questions, you can, we can interact, and then you can make sure that you have exactly what you need. Hey there, Pee-wee 3, welcome back. Hey there, Maria. Thanks for the hearts, guys. I appreciate it. And even if you have friends and followers that aren't in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge yet, they can still watch this Periscope. So what you can do is you just swipe across or swipe up if you have an Android phone. Hey, and hey, Brooklyn Kells. And then you can share it with your folks on Facebook, which is new if you updated your app, or Twitter or your followers, and just really spread the wealth. The idea of the snowball method is so, so, so important, and no one ever talks about it. And so I was going to do a quick story as I started, which is sort of ironic. Thanks, Katie, for inviting your followers. Which is funny because, we're talking about the snowball method, and it's not quite cold enough here in Boston for it to snow, but it's raining really hard. Let's see if I can even show you the beauty of Periscope. Let me turn it around. Can you see? It's really raining. That's our car. It's our CRV. And that is lots and lots of rain outside. So, okay. So, today I was like, okay, I got this new haircut. Many of you saw me when I came home on, I think it was Saturday, with my new haircut. And I was like, okay, great. I'm going to do it today and, see what I can make happen. So it looked all pretty by like 8 a.m. maybe. And then I got the kids ready, took them off to daycare. And when you know it, that when I walk out, it's just starting to rain a little bit. Well, while I'm driving them, we do a nanny share with another family. So while I'm driving them over there, it starts to rain harder and harder. And I have a jacket, but I don't have a hood on the jacket. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what happens here. So I took out one kid, and it's raining, and then came back, got the second one, brought them in, and now it's really pouring. And so then I get back in the car and I just look at myself and I look a little like a drowned rat. And I was like, when you figure, I actually tried to make it look nice today for you. And then I just realized that, I think that this is what happens a lot of times. People make an effort and then they literally feel like they get rained on, right? Like something interferes, something else happens, and it interferes with your payoff plan. Or it interferes with, something that you're trying to do with your money or with your debt. And what I just was driving home and kind of laughing to myself, and I thought, oh, how perfect. I'm talking about the snowball method today. And then I think the key thing is just how quickly you can recover, and that you allow yourself to, what I call, respond, not react. So you just take an extra breath. Maybe you laugh a little like I did, and then you just say, okay, well, what's next? What else can I be doing? So I put on a little makeup today instead. Figured, hey, we'll spruce that up. And I just want all of you to take in that even if you miss a day, or even if you do something and it doesn't feel like it turns out quite like you would have expected when you expressed yourself yesterday and gave thanks, whatever that looks like, the important part is that you just keep moving forward. And that's really fundamental to what I teach and why, I used to do shorter programs, honestly. I used to do programs that were like 5 weeks, or in my private coaching, it used to be 3 months. And what I realized is that it needs more time because things are going to come up in your life that, where you need some extra support. I do a 6-month group called, hey there, Cornelia. I do a 6-month group called the Rich Life Mastery Program. And that I had done a similar program before at 3 months. And I just got that, we need 6 months to be able to really ground ourselves in the changes that we want to be making, to allow things to come up, honestly, and then to be able to consult me to get support in them. Now, what I decided to do after the first 6 months is people were enjoying it so much that I actually then made it something where you could renew after your first 6 months. And now I've had people renewing. Somebody's renewing, I think it's coming up on 3 years in December, right? So she's already renewed, whatever. She'll be renewing, I guess, 5 times. So it's just important to get that even when it rains on your parade, it rains on your new hair, whatever, that we just keep you going. And so that's the quick story I wanted to share as I head into teaching you about the snowball method and what you need to do to move yourself forward. So pull out prioritize your debt schedule and pull out a pen and paper because we're going to walk through it. And let me see, I have my calculator right here. So I can just kind of show you how the numbers all work out. I think the snowball method is a really great way to gain traction, pay off debt, and stay motivated in the process. I was just, if I have time, I'm not sure if it's going to be today, but sometime over the next couple of days, probably over the weekend, I actually worked out a debt payoff plan for my mom because she was here last week when I was doing the challenge, visiting, and she doesn't really talk to me about this sort of stuff, honestly. I think it's a little bit of like a separation of church and state. Like, this is what I do for work. And so when we're together for fun, we just have fun. But she heard it. And she actually came on one of my Periscopes even. And she said, you know what? I really want to do something about this. I've made huge strides, but I still have this 30 grand that I want to clear out. So we worked out a debt payoff plan for her too, using the snowball method. And so I'll walk you through that over the next couple of days because there were some really interesting nuances that she didn't know. And that's why it's like, I'm going to teach you to the best of my ability, but it does help for us to be able to talk through your payoff plan specifically because there may be some nuances going for you too that may affect the order. But what was interesting is that she had been paying something like 4 credit cards, I want to say, and she had been paying more on all of them. So they were all sticking around. And so what we did was we reset it for her, where we essentially prioritized them and then paid the minimum on all of them. Hey there, Sarah. We prioritized them. We paid the minimum on all of them except for the first one that we identified we were going to be attacking. And when we did that, then we could really, and we created some extra cash for her. Hey, welcome back. Hey, Mimo. We created some extra cash for her so that now instead of paying maybe $400 extra, we had her paying $1,000 extra every month. And so, so let me walk you through how this works. And then it was so amazing because then we actually had the first credit card paid off in 2 months. The next credit card, I want to say, took 5 months after that. So in 7 months, she had 2 credit cards with big balances that were gone. Hey, Melissa, I thought that was you. No problem. Welcome. We're getting going. If you want to listen to the replay, I told a cute story about it raining today on my new haircut and how that relates to you and money. But now, so take out prioritize your debt table or look at the lesson that I've covered here in day 8 online or in your email. And I've tried to keep everything super consistent in terms of what I'm sending you an email, what's in the video, and what's on the page, because I have a lot of different learners, honestly. I have folks who would rather watch the video, who would rather read it, who'd rather read it, but read it on their phone. So all good. So here's the prioritize your debt table in this example that I gave. So credit card A was a $500 balance, B was a $1,500 balance, and C was a $2,500 balance. So it totaled $4,500. So what you're going to do is you're going to start by making the minimum payments on credit card A. Okay? And then, you make the minimums on all of them, A, B, and C. And credit card A is also going to get the extra, any extra that you are able to generate. So in this example, we're generating an extra $250 that we found. And I will say that when people sit down with me and they do these makeovers, I'll find anywhere from $200 on the low end every month to $1,000 or more. I don't guarantee it, but it's pretty consistent that I'm able to either help you create it on the income side or to save it on the expense side once we identify what your key money leaks are. So now in just a few months, what we were able to do in this example is pay off credit card A. Then you pat yourself on the back, you do a little celebration. You don't have to spend money, but you do get to really appreciate what you've done. because we know gratitude is an important part of all this. Then we move on to B and C. Then we keep paying the minimum on B and C, plus you pay what you were paying on credit card A's minimum and what you were paying on credit card A's additional payment, okay? So now you're taking all of that and you're then applying it to credit card B. And then before you know it, credit card B is gone forever, okay? Because we're not going to let you accumulate more debt. And then you just keep going down the list. So then you take the minimums you were paying on A and B, you take the extra that you were paying on them, and you apply all of that to credit card C. And now all of a sudden you have this big number that you're applying to credit card C every month, and then before you know it, credit card C is gone too. And it really works because, at least the way that I've tweaked it, is that you're focusing on, I say people often focus on the larger debts first, but then it just takes so long to pick up momentum. So I generally have you focus on the smaller debts first, get those paid off, then that way you have no risk of incurring late fees on those if you miss a bill. Hey, Erica, I'm looking forward to talking with you later on. So then that way you get rid of your smaller bills, you build up momentum, you don't take any risk of having a late fee, because as soon as you have a late fee, bam, that could be $30 and potentially a rise in your interest rate. So this way you just have less to focus on. And then the other thing that I often have people do, which isn't in this one, but we're going to talk a little bit about it on Friday, is automating in these payments. So you automate in all of the minimums, and then the only thing you're going to be paying is you look at what extra you have each month and you pay that against the first card on your prioritize your debt table. Then that way your attention isn't focused on your debt. So much of the time we're literally like tunnel vision. Awesome, Erica. Yeah, it is. It's so great. I can't wait to chat with you too. If you're not following Erica yet, follow her, Budgets by Erica, on Periscope. I'm sure once we talk, she's going to be doing more Periscopes too. So you'll definitely want to check out what she has to say, especially around this money realm as well. So in my method, right, you're getting rid of these lower debts, and sometimes we're also prioritizing items that have a really strong charge for you. I told the story a few Periscopes ago about Kimberly, who really wanted to get this debt paid off that she had incurred related to her divorce, because every time she paid it, it just made her cringe. Like, it made her so upset. And so it was just so great to get to, for her to get to see that gone. And so what we did was she had accumulated a little bit of money. She'd come to me to say, okay, how should I best use this in terms of what I pay off? Had her call up the divorce attorney, and she ended up settling with them. She saved $700 off the bat, which was literally a third of her balance. And then it was gone. Literally by the end of the week, she put the check in the mail and it was gone. And it was like this huge weight just lifted off of her shoulders. We automated the rest of her credit cards, and she just paid them off one by one and is just doing fantastic. And then I want to say that we actually had her do a payoff loan as well. And then between getting rid of all the credit cards, I think all but like one or two, which we had her pay them off, and do the payoff loan for the rest, raised her credit score by like 96 points. And she just felt so much better because she didn't feel nearly as controlled by her debt. So, what else is there? Okay. So so that's the snowball method. Basically, you're going to be paying the minimum on all of the other cards. You pay the minimum on the first card you're handling, plus any extra that you have all goes to that. I mentioned that my mom was paying, like, instead of $150, she'd be paying $200 on one. Instead of $200, she was paying $300 on another one. So she thought she was doing really great by paying more than the minimum. And I said, yes, but we just need to focus that on the specific debt that we are going to laser in on first. It's kind of like this idea that if you think of light, either we can have this big floodlight, which is very dispersed and doesn't really have a lot of charge, or we can take all that light and focus in on one place. And that's why laser light is so strong. You can literally like burn holes through things. So anyway, so that is the snowball method. Happy to answer any questions about it. Let me know if there are any for you that you want to talk about, that you want to ask about, that you want to figure out, well, how do I use the snowball method for me? Just put in a few comments. I'm happy to help. We have a few minutes left here before I have to run. And I'm sure before you all have to run too, because I really want to make sure that you have what you need to be able to move forward with the snowball method. And while I'm waiting for questions, a couple more things is that you have next week is something really exciting and fun that's going to be happening. So I am doing a couple of webinars called Live Your Rich Life. 3 massive mistakes that keep you under earning, under saving, and overwhelmed, and how to avoid them. So that's going to be Tuesday, October 6th, and I'm going to be doing it at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I can catch people on different time zones. And let's see. My instinct is my 1 o'clock will get more overseas folks potentially and more entrepreneurs who maybe would rather take the time during the day. Is it better to pay by highest APR first or smallest balance first? So great question, Brooklyn Kells. And unfortunately, the answer is more of an it depends. And I'll get back to the webinars in just a sec. So it's tricky. And that's why I said there are nuances why going through, allowing me to go through the snowball method for you and with your debts actually makes such a difference. It kind of depends on the balances, right? So if the amounts are low enough and we can just pay off some of those smallest balances and just get rid of them, like I want to say with Sinead on our website, paid off 5 cards on total, that was only $210. Right? So that was 5 separate cards that she could just get rid of. So my instinct is that every month she just felt like all I'm doing is paying debt. All I'm doing is paying debt. And so she was focusing on paying debt because she literally had a ton of debt that she had to be paying. So now probably once those 5 are gone, maybe she only has 2 or 3 left, and then she can just laser in on those. And then you can start to look at the interest rates. Now, so that's kind of what I would do is maybe see if we can knock off a few of them first with the smallest balances and then start to look at the rates. So, if you have rates where you have something at like 12% and something at 15%, that's not as much of a difference. So then, then we maybe could go to the one with the smallest balance. But if you have something like 12% and something else like 27% or 29%, then it probably makes sense to handle the 29% one first. Because literally every year, your balance is increasing by about a third. So if you have a $3,000 balance and you were only paying the minimum, you would be adding almost an extra $1,000 in interest into your balance. I mean, so then it feels like, how am I ever going to get ahead? And honestly, how are you ever going to get ahead? So that's why it's just super important that I help you to generate, to find the extra cash to be generating. That's what day 6 was about. And then to be applying that extra cash very strategically. So if you want to give me specifics here, I'm happy to answer that. These are my balances, or even post something up on the forum. I will do that for a few people. And back to the webinars for a second. So on October 6th, hey, welcome. I'm psyched people are still joining. On October 6th, I mentioned I'm doing these 2 webinars. And I kind of view this as like capping off your Ditch Your Debt challenge. Because when I see people making these mistakes, I feel like it really is part of what keeps them stuck and keeps them generating debt and staying in debt. So I want to teach you these mistakes so you can avoid them, and then start to go over with you, what's next? How do we sustain this progress that you're creating? And then on October 8th, this is super fun. I've never really seen anybody else do this. I've only tried it once and it worked really well, so I'm willing to try it again. It's called Rich Life Makeovers. And so essentially, you will be able to apply. And if you're in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge, or if you have signed up directly for the webinar, you will have the opportunity to apply for a Rich Life Makeover. And what these are essentially is I just ask you a few very simple questions ahead of time. You make sure that you join live with me on Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we will literally walk through your biggest challenges. My instinct, and this is what happened last time, is that there was definitely a part that was mindset related, like money story related, that I help people to see. Plus there was a real tactical strategic of like, what do I do? How do I handle this? How do I get unstuck? And how do I sustain this progress? So, so you can join in for both. And today, if you're in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge, yay, definitely applying for that. I'd love for you to apply, Samantha. That would be great. And there's no cost to apply. Anybody can apply. And then I'll be picking them all probably not until like Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Great. Yeah, definitely apply. If you want to know how to do it, you just email val@ownyourmoney.com. But you do need the questions. So today what's going to happen is if you're in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge, you'll get emails with the information for the October 6th. There's 2 on that day. You can attend either one. They have the same login information. And then October 8th for the makeovers. You do have to make sure that you can be on live to apply. So just mark that in your calendar now. And then you'll get a separate email for access to that. And then tomorrow you'll get an email with a lot more details too in terms of how to apply and all that good stuff. And I'll probably even post it in your Facebook group. So that would be super fun too. And then that way you'll be able to know how to apply there as well. So yeah, I'd be psyched for all of you guys too. And it's funny, if you're applying, you love the makeovers. Yes, they are actually, they're super fun for me to do too. Let's see, Melissa, my biggest struggle with the snowball is adding more debt. I'm staying focused this month. Yeah, so when you're adding more debt, Melissa, that's a really great point. When you're adding more debt, essentially what that means is that you're not able to live within your means. So we need to do one of 3 things. We either increase your income, we decrease your expenses, or we do both. Okay, it's not always only expenses. It's really looking at how do I do both of those at the same time to be able to make a difference. And I feel like just you starting to pay attention and track will be a really important step in that as well. So, yeah, so that's the gist. So it's a really good question. Oh, and I was going to say, for those of you applying, yes, that is certainly part of it. And it may just mean simplifying. It may mean a few sacrifices. You're welcome, Melissa. You know, I see that happen all the time. There is a way out, but oftentimes we just haven't really tracked it. We're not conscious enough. Maybe we've written it off in our head. I mean, our mindset is so much of this conversation that, you know, we've said, oh, well, I can't make it any better, or why should I bother? And it's probably why I call myself a chief money motivator, because I need to almost motivate you to get, yes, it's really possible, but I just have to show you how. We just have to spend some time going through that together. And it's amazing what opens up. I mean, literally, I feel like we're going to do some case studies of some of my clients, particularly some of my clients that are in my Rich Life Mastery group program, because I think that sometimes people think, oh, if I'm in a group program, then I can get tremendous results. And I am so proud of each and every one of the people that are in this group and how they're stepping up in their life, that I know it's possible. And sometimes people think, oh, I can't spend more money, because if I spend more money each month, then it's going to make the situation worse. But that's not actually what happens, because you open yourself up to this whole new level of income and abundance, but also that you're now paying attention in this whole new way. And then everything starts to open up for you. And then you really start to say, you know what, I don't need to eat out as much. I don't need to spend as much money as I do on food or on cable or on phone. And you're just really noticing all of these things, and you're sticking with it. Thanks for the hearts, guys. Did you know that you can add 500 hearts? I'm not sure if you guys knew that. You can literally press the screen 500 times. And I try and do that. Maybe I'm kind of a geek about this, but when I watch, I literally try and add like 100, 200 hearts when I watch them, because at least, because I feel like it's just showing the love to people for taking the time to do the Periscope. That's how I look at it. It's like, yes, you guys are appreciating it. You're getting some value from it. And why not? They're free. Like, do it. It's part of the whole flow. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. What's tomorrow called? Tomorrow is called Living Generously. So this is a step in living generously. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. See, you're totally doing it. Yay. Doesn't that feel good? It feels good to increase the flow. Okay. So we're about at a half an hour, which is what I like to keep these scopes to. Do you all have any questions about the snowball method, or really about anything in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge so far? Thanks, guys, for the hearts. See, it is. It's so fun to get them. Any questions? My hair's not too bad, right? It looks so pretty this morning, I have to tell you. But now it just looks a little rained on, but that's okay. Any other questions here? Okay. So stay tuned. I'll probably change the time of the Periscope to tomorrow. to just make it a little bit later in the day because I feel like it'd be a good time to start to recap them. I just had a super busy day these next couple of days with clients. I block my time, and I'll teach you that along the way too if you're stick with me. And I block my time so that I have client weeks and project weeks. This is a big client week. If I'm unemployed, can I still apply for 0% credit cards? That's a great question, Carolina. Your credit has been excellent. Yeah, so here's the scoop. They will want you to fill in an annual income. And so I would say you would probably either fill in the annual income that you've earned to date if you were employed for most of the year and it's a recent thing, or apply or put in the dollar amount of what you expect to be making in your next job. If you put down 0, I doubt that you would get approved. Because it's just computers that are calculating your, if you can make it. It's great that your credit score is excellent. That's a huge help. And then the other piece is really how quickly can you get a job? And if you can get yourself a new job, then you can make that happen relatively quickly. And then you just give yourself a month and you write your new salary. And then, of course, you'll be approved, or a couple months or whatever it takes. It's so interesting, actually. I've had several people, and actually for those of us that are small business owners or looking to start businesses, they're, quote, unemployed too. So then I have you fill in what you're looking at for your revenue for your new business, or what your current revenue is in your current business. But for all intents and purposes, I am unemployed in a job and self-employed through Own Your Money, which is my business. Once again, for everybody, I'm Belinda Rosenblum. I run a company called Own Your Money at ownyourmoney.com, and I'm leading this Ditch Your Debt Challenge. For those of you who are just joining straight off on Periscope, you can get access in the ditchyourdebtchallenge.com. If you don't, here we go. If you don't have any debt, but you really want to step into living a rich life for yourself, then join me over at ownyourmoney.com/live-rich. So you're welcome, Carolina. Because I think that's actually a really great question. And I'll have people, it sounds sort of counterintuitive, but I do find this all the time. I'll have people join my programs, right, and start out unemployed, quote, unemployed. And then part of our major goal with them is to either get them employed or get their business off the ground. And that's very normal. And I think sometimes people think, oh, it's counterintuitive to spend any money to invest in coaching to make that happen if you're unemployed. But I actually find that it's much, much more productive than staying in the scarcity of, I'm not bringing money, so I can't spend money. I do want you to be more simple and maybe, look at cutting back on things like cable or some of those other miscellaneous things that maybe you don't need to the extent you have them anyway. But that I find that when people are under my tutelage, like learning from me, that we get them jobs faster than they would have been able to get on their own. We start their businesses faster. We start having them earn money. We have them build their confidence faster. And all of these things really create your fastest path to cash in the process. So just keep that in mind too. Okay. Any other questions on the webinars, on Snowball, on anything in the Ditch Your Debt Challenge? Just ask it real quick before we go. You guys are all still on the line, so that's awesome. That was actually a really good question, Carolina. And if you do fill in 0, you will likely not get approved, even with great credit, or at least not approved at nearly what's possible for you otherwise. And I think for the payoff loan, you probably need to have some steady income too. But let's just go get you steady income and then move you forward after that. Hey, I can't even pronounce your name. Sorcham Kaloon. You might have to let me know what your real name is. That seems like a long first name. So thanks everybody for the hearts. Thanks for, make sure you're following me. You just click on that little guy. Sorsha. Oh, that's beautiful. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. Or at least phonetically now. Thank you. I appreciate that. But now that I read it, you're so excited to start. Yay! Irish. Oh, beautiful. Snowball seems pretty straightforward, so I'm looking forward to trying it. It is pretty straightforward. It's just not so intuitive is what it is. That I think that we, we just think, oh, just pay more on everything. And that's just not quite how it works. And then I would still try and automate in the rest as much as you can. And then that way you make sure you're never late on anything. Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate you joining in and have a wonderful day. Stay tuned in our private Facebook group. So if you're in either the challenge or sign up for the webinar, you do have access to our private Facebook group and post any questions that you may have there, get support from each other there. And yay! Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. That's awesome. And although I have a Marisa and a Melissa, so you guys are confusing. And 2 Mimis and 2 Carolinas. It's so funny. Just keep me on my toes. It's all good. It's all good. So stay tuned for the timing for the Periscope the next couple of days, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, thanks so much. Have a wonderful day. Oh, should I pay the account first that has the highest minimum payment? No, actually, the dollar amount of the minimum payment is not really related when, at least in the way I interpret the snowball method. I would look at it in terms of the lowest balance, so not the minimum payment, but the lowest balance. We can just get rid of it. Sort of like one of our members paid off 5 credit cards and it only totaled $210. So I look at balance and I look at interest rate as your 2 major factors. So that makes a difference. You know, it's interesting. The intuitive, you know, I said sometimes it's straightforward, but not so intuitive in this case. The intuitive may say pay off the highest minimum because then you can reapply that highest minimum someplace else. But it's not exactly what works the best. Yay, you're welcome. Good questions, too. Good questions. Okay, guys, thanks so much, everybody. And have a wonderful day. Keep posting on the group. You know, let me know what you're doing. Let us know how you're thanking people around you. How are you living in gratitude? What are you doing to really get rid of that debt? And I can't wait to have you join on the webinars too, and more Periscopes to come. Thanks, guys. Thanks for all the hearts today. Really appreciate it. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye, everybody. Take care. Yay! And I do look at the hearts afterwards. It's so fun to get to see what everybody's doing. And a little sidebar that you're, and you can still share this with your folks on Facebook or on Twitter or your followers, and then they'll just get access to the replay that way. The hearts actually line up with your color of your name if you notice when you posted a comment. That's a new little thing I figured out. So no one tells you some of these little Periscope tricks. But if you have any questions for me about Periscope, let me know. I just have been doing this now for a month. Amazing. Pretty much at least one a day. So all good stuff. All good stuff. Okay. Take care, guys. Mwah. Bye. Thanks for joining.